Hi, I'm Daria Teller, and this is another edition of The Higher Authority. My co-host, Doug Walt, Aaron Frenchman here with me today, and today we have a special guest with us. From Executive Alliance, which is a large recruiting firm located in Comac, Long Island, an international recruiting firm, we have David Rivard. David, thanks for joining us today.
My pleasure. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, you got it. So David is the Director of Recruiting at Executive Alliance, specializing in accounting and finance. That's going to be our topic today. Take us through it.
Yeah, thank you, David.
How does AI hallucinations come into play then? Because there is the whole problem with AI, with hallucinations, where it actually gives you data that you're asking for that may not exist, so that way you get the result that you want.
Yeah.
So where does that leave you?
In this case, AI is probably comparing your client's financial statements to other audited, publicly listed financial statements that are already vetted, right? So
Does it give you a list?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I didn't
That's
ask.
the
I
thing.
didn't ask.
That's the thing I'd
Yeah.
want to know, because I'd want it to be able to validate the companies that it's actually sourcing from.
Yeah.
Because I do know that the other companies that have tried to do similar programs, just in the legal field,
Yeah.
and there are so many hallucinations that come up that are only put into play to prove the argument that you're looking to make, or to give you results that you're looking for. And I think that's something that there has to be some way to validate that the information that you're getting is factual.
Yeah, I asked the gentleman I spoke with, and he said, I said, what do you do with that information? He's like, well, then we have to look at it. Then we have to physically, validate that what the information is that giving us is actually, the AI is giving us is actually correct, and we're not just taking it, on its face. Right. So there is some check and balances at the end of the process to make sure that what it's saying is accurate and true. But just like, two simple examples. I asked him for two simple examples, and those are the two that he gave me, and incredible. They're really just amazing.
What's the time frame, do you think, for people to be like those first tier people to be on the outs because this exists?
Look, there's a lot of small CPA firms out there that probably are not using AI technology and still going to have to go through the old way of doing things, and they're just stuck in their ways, or whatever the reasons are.
Yeah.
They can't afford the AI technology
Until it's commoditized.
That's a good point.
The way that AI has advanced, even over the last year or two.
Crazy.
Tomorrow, that very expensive AI program that Ernst & Young uses is now going to be available to Joe CPA.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, probably. Within this decade, I would think it definitely is going to have an impact.
Yeah, I think so too.
So back to really the job market, do you feel like accounting and finance, at least in this lane, becomes more of a gig work environment? Or we'll say a fractional environment?
The fractional consulting should probably increase, I would think, yes, because you're going to have less on-staff employees, because you're going to have this technology available.
Right.
So you're going to need to hire consultants during those peak periods to help you get through those time crunches. Right. Good segue. Thank you so much. I wanted to talk a little bit about. Thank you. I want to talk a little bit about the advantages and disadvantages of consulting. And again, this is from a candidate perspective. You can sort of infer based on some of these advantages and disadvantages why there are advantages and disadvantages for the hiring managers and companies that may need some of these folks. People might want to start to do consulting. If they're unemployed, if they find themselves out of work for whatever reason, layoffs, or they decide to take their career in a different trajectory, or whatever the reasons may be, relocation. So here's some notes I put down as to what some of the reasons might be that accounting and finance and FP&A people, whether it's smart to do that, to do consulting, or if it's a distraction from you looking for a permanent position.
Yeah, well, that's always the fear.
Two sides to that story.
And you're not going to leave a permanent job to be a consultant, or are you?
I have had candidates leave permanent positions for consulting roles if they want out that bad.
Yeah.
Flexibility.
Flexibility is one.
And comp.
Yeah.
Comp. Yeah.
Yeah.
Billable hours.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. So here's some of the reasons why companies might need consultants, right? Interim positions, somebody's on maternity leave, somebody's going to have surgery, whatever that case may be. They need extra hands. We talked about this earlier. Peak periods, they just need, quarter end, year end close, whatever the reason,
Sure.
audits. Maybe the company's going to do an IPO, or they're going to have an audit coming up, and they need somebody to help them with that
Sure.
process, prepare for that IPO. Process improvement initiatives. Hey, we want to really streamline our processes. They're antiquated. We need more IT involved in the process, more automation. Having somebody come in as a consultant to do just that is very smart. I see that happen a lot. We help our clients with that a lot. Implement new GAAP. So, revenue recognition GAAP pronouncement comes out, or lease accounting GAAP pronouncement comes out, and either you don't have expertise on your staff, again, or you don't have time. They're just maxed out. Bring in a consultant, knows exactly what they're doing, they're well versed in the topic, they bang it out, they look at your processes, they look at your actual documents, write a white paper for your auditors, understand what the impact is to the financial statements. Perfect. Another example is an ERP implementation. I'm bringing a project manager in, I'm going to implement NetSuite. I need somebody that's going to really manage that process, see it from soup to nuts.
And a vendor and analysts and
the whole thing. And then maybe even at the end of the process, do a knowledge transfer between
Training.
the vendor that you use to maybe do some of the heavy lifting and the programming to my employees that now need to know how to use NetSuite, in that example. So here's some advantages, and I personally think the advantages outweigh the disadvantages. But at the end, we'll talk a little bit more about where it makes sense and maybe doesn't make sense for you. So obviously, the most important reason why you might want to do consulting work is there's income. Right?
Yeah.
So if you're out of work and you're unemployed, it's an income stream. You're getting paid generally by the day, usually by the hour, to do that consulting work at that company that's hiring you to do that work. And that has all sorts of implications, right? There's income coming in. So what does that mean? That means if I am interviewing for a permanent position and I do get an offer for that permanent position, I'm less desperate. I'm less likely to make a rash decision on that permanent offer, that permanent decision, because I have income coming in.
Right.
So I can wait for the next offer if that one just doesn't make sense for me in my career.
Right.
Or
It's a calmer
it's a lowball
decision.
compensation,
Sure.
whatever the reasons may be.
It gives you some leverage.
Yeah.
It gives you definitely some leverage.
Yeah.
Resume time gaps. Okay, so let's say you're out of a permanent role, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, right? The longer you're out of that permanent role, this is not just accounting and finance.
It's everything.
Everything.
Right? The longer you're out and you have that time gap in your resume, the more hiring managers start scratching their head when they see your resume.
Right.
So they start wondering why you're not landing something. With consulting, you can put that consulting on your resume,
Right.
show that you're an independent consultant. It fills that time gap on your resume. And look, guys, consulting is not at all taboo like it used to be.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, no, not at all.
I mean, this is a gig economy. People's resumes are constantly showing us that they're doing, consulting gigs one after another, sometimes years without a permanent
pretty
position.
popular
Very
now.
Yeah, it used to be a code for unemployed.
Used to be, right,
Yeah.
used to be code for can't get a job.
Yeah.
Right.
Right, so not anymore at all.
I feel like since COVID, that kind of changed a
It's
little
definitely
bit.
driven it
Yeah.
because people had to get creative about income, and companies allowed that creativity because it saved them from hiring
Well, the
permanent
companies,
people.
right. The companies definitely had to take a breath there because they didn't know what was going to happen. We've never had a pandemic before, and to be able to financially figure out which way you're going to go, it was much easier to have a contract person than to have someone
Yeah.
come on and be permanent, and then you have all of those, expenditures.
Now, my question is, does this open up, and it can be any industry, but we're talking about accounting and finance,
Yeah.
almost a new type of role where someone now pitches themselves as, hey, I'm an AI accounting auditing professional. years ago, I
Yeah.
worked with a lot of big box retail companies before e-commerce got big.
I think that's a great pitch. I think that's a great
You know,
pitch.
so, as someone who has a college-age child, math is not his friend, so this is not for him. But coming out of an accounting world, or coming out, you've spent 4 years in accounting, you lost your role at a Big Four. Now it's, I'm going to rebrand myself.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know, is that the way things could go?
Could, absolutely. Yeah,
So-
I mean, it's a niche, right?
Yeah.
I know NetSuite, I'm an expert in NetSuite, I'm an expert in RevRec, I'm an expert
Yeah.
in lease accounting, I'm an expert in how to AI your processes and AI
Yeah.
your accounting department. Yeah, I mean,
And that's where people are looking for advisors, right? You know, a lot of AI we're seeing now is going to be more tactical, you know, drill through a million records, drill
Sure.
through a lot of these different, you know, the gap checklists and such. And somebody that could, you know, at that same point,
Yeah.
you know, overview the governance of what's taking place,
Yeah.
validating what the AI is putting out, and having that level of advisory expertise. And that's what people are looking for, and that's where a lot of AI is going for. In the tech space, in manufacturing,
Right.
they're looking for people that can, you know, the lower lying, the level 1, level 2 support areas or things
Yep.
like that. So, you know, so that certainly could be a viable, you know, career path for somebody
Absolutely.
to position themselves, and knowing the tools, knowing the applications.
I think it's a
and
great
such.
idea.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but that could be certainly viable.
yeah, I agree with you totally. Some other advantages, you know, showing that you have consulting on your resume shows that your skills are still relevant.
Yeah.
It helps you learn new skills. It helps
Sure.
you expose you to new industries. It helps you meet new people. You know, like you're out there as a consultant working 2, 3, 4 months at a company. You're going to establish relationships with those people that you're working with, and usually, you know, CFO, controller, everyone on their organization, in their team. Those people are instant business contacts for you.
Absolutely.
Down the road, you know, more exposure that you give yourself to other professionals is just, it makes sense that that's going to potentially have other benefits to you down the road.
And other companies, other clients may call you and say, hey, you have anyone who used to work here? Hey, I have a consultant that did a 6-month gig.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
You know,
Word of
we
mouth
want to
leads
know
out.
what's going on inside of our competitor.
Absolutely.
The more gigs you get as a consultant, now you know the landscape of not one company you worked for, but 10.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely.
It's true.
Makes you more valuable.
Yeah, and the consulting is also doing the consulting work at a company is also a huge strategic advantage to becoming a permanent employee at that company.
Yes, no doubt about it.
Even if that's not sort of advertised from the get go, you know, the CFO tells me, David, you know, I only need somebody for 3 months. It's just a consulting role. I need them to bang out this project.
Right.
There's no permanent opportunities. Okay, I got it. I tell the consultant that, obviously, set expectations,
Right.
and the consultant goes in there, does their work. Lo and behold, either something changes in those 3 months that they're
Right.
there consulting, or
Right.
somebody leaves a permanent opportunity, and you know, guess what? You're there. You're a known quantity. You're a known asset. You know, they know what you could do. You know the team and the people. They convert you.
Mm-hmm.
Or you finish your 3 months, and I get a phone call from my client that says, you know, Joe did such a great job. I'm creating a role in my organization.
Right. Happens all the
I
time.
can't let
Yeah.
this person get out of my team.
No.
Right. It happens all the
I'm
time.
not letting them go to work for a competitor. They're too good.
All the time. All the time.
Yeah.
So it's a very effective strategic path, potentially, to a permanent opportunity at that company where you consult.
It's a win for the client as well, though, because they're actually getting to test drive
Oh, yeah.
how this person works. And I
Right.
think on a client side of things, they're actually getting to see all of the nuances that this person can handle with their team, how they fit into the culture, because it's not just the job, it's the culture. And it gives the client really a good test drive
Try
at that
before you
point.
buy.
Absolutely.
And it allows you to audit your existing people.
Sure.
You bring in a consultant and go, wow, maybe some of our people are a lot more
Right.
lacking.
I didn't realize
than
that
I
this person,
realized."
right, shouldn't be here or wasn't doing as much as they should be.
So you can call me directly on my office line is 631-498-5774. Email address is davidr@execsallied.com.
Thank you so much
Great
for
stuff,
being
Dave.
with
Thanks,
us.
a lot of fun.
Really,
Yeah,
really
absolutely.
great,
Appreciate it.
really
Hopefully it was
great. Yeah, it was wonderful. Thank you again for being with us. Thank you,
you so
Doug,
much.
Aaron, another great episode. So if you are looking to contact us, you have questions for us or for David, feel free to contact us at info@execsally.com. This is The Higher Authority. See you next time.